This is a tutorial on how to download the SMAP L4C data from NASA's Earth Data Platform. So the first thing you'll want to do is navigate to this web page. If you just Google NASA Earth Data Search, it should be the first thing that pops up. Once you are on this web page, in this top right-hand corner of the screen, you should see a little button that says Log in to Earth Data Account. If you see that button, click on it, and it will bring you to a web page where you can either register or log on to your Earth Data account. If you don't have an account, it's free to set up and should just take a few minutes. Once you are logged into your Earth Data account, it will bring you back to this web page, and you are ready to start downloading your SMAP data. So the first thing that you'll do is in this search bar in the top left corner, you're going to search SMAP, and what it will do is bring up a number of images from the SMAP dataset. We want the SMAP Level 4 Carbon Net Ecosystem Exchange data, so we are going to click on that. And what it does is gives us an option of all the SMAP L4C data that are available, which at the moment is 1,380 sets of images. For the purposes of most studies, that's too much data, and you really only need it for a specific time period and spatial area of your study. So two other features that are provided in this Earth Data Search are spatial and temporal filtering, which helps you narrow down this set of large images to something more manageable. So let's say we just want images from February of 2018. What we can do is click on this temporal filter and navigate to 2018 February 1st as the start, and then 2018 February 28th is the end. And if we hit apply filter, we can see that our images goes down from 1300 down to 28. The second option is a temporal or a spatial filter, which lets us subset this global data set into a smaller region. So let's say we want to select data. Let's say we want, so this spatial filter allows us to subset the data in a number of ways. We can either draw a polygon, a rectangle, select just a single point, or even upload a shapefile to extract the SMAP data. So what we're going to do is select a rectangle, and let's say we want the SMAP L4C data from the central region of Africa. We can just draw a rectangle right over that, and it will subset our data spatially as well as temporally. So once we have our data selected and filtered, we can press this download all button, and that will bring us to a new web page where it'll give us some options for downloading our SMAP data. So it takes a few seconds for this page to load, but once it does, you are given a few options. There are some data access methods, and I recommend selecting this Customize Products tab. And what this tab does is allows you to choose different formats for your data and make it a little easier for you to manage once it's downloaded. So you can enter your email address, and if you have a large data set, the Earth Data will email you updates on the processing of your data. You can opt to include or not include the metadata and processing of your data set. Another good option is to select the output file format of your data. So the default is H5 file format. I'm going to select GeoTIFF as my file format. And another option is to include that spatial subsetting box that we drew. So if you were to not select that, it would download the SMAP for our selected temporal filter for the entire globe. But if we do our spatial subsetting, we can see that our box that we drew over Central Africa pops up, and it will just download SMAP data for that box. You also have the option to reproject your data if you'd like to do that. And our final option is to select the bands that we want. So by default, all the bands should be selected for your SMAP image, for your SMAP images. But say you only want to look at, for example, the soil carbon, and all of the other bands of the SMAP data are not relevant to you. What you can do is deselect all the bands and then just select the soil carbon band of the SMAP data. You can also further select the soil carbon mean or select the soil carbon for each of the 8 plant functional types that are available for this SMAP data. Once you have made your selection, you hit continue. It will just confirm your contact information, and then you can hit submit, and it will begin downloading your data. So depending on the size of your data set, the both temporal, how long the data record is, and then how big your study area is, it could take a few hours for your data to process. Since we just have a month of data centered over a small region in Africa, it shouldn't take too long. As your data is downloading, there's this in progress notification, and it gives you a update every once in a while of what percent your download is at. And as soon as your order is complete, here this notification pops up that it's complete, and it gives us an option for download links. So there are 2 options. The first is an HTML page, and what this page is a list of download links to each of the individual files that you've requested. So we can see we have a request summary, a zip file to download all of the files, and then individual download links for each day for the soil carbon mean, as well as for each of the plant functional type means. The other option that is provided is just a simple zip file. So we can click on that, and it will just download a zip file of all the data to our downloads folder. And once that is downloaded, we can navigate to our downloads and extract our data. Once this process is complete, it'll take us to our folder with all our data in it, which is just a subset of even more folders. Each of these folders corresponds to 1 day of the SMAP L4C images. So if we click on one of these folders, we can see that we have, for this example, we have the SMAP L4C soil carbon data from February 27th, 2018. And this contains the mean as well as all of the plant functional types, as well as the metadata associated with each of the images. So once you get to this point, you can bring your SMAP data into whichever GIS platform you're using and use it to inform your analysis.